There's no faster and easier way to record high-quality video on a Mac than QuickTime Player. Just connect your camera, whether it's a USB webcam, an iPhone, via its USB charging data cable, or wirelessly using continuity camera, or a mirrorless DSLR through an HDMI USB capture card. Then just connect a good quality external microphone through USB, launch QuickTime Player, select File, New Movie Recording, go into Settings, select your camera, your microphone, and you're ready to go. But before you hit that record button, I want to share with you a few tips and tricks that'll help you get the best out of QuickTime Player, while avoiding some common mistakes that can lead to poor quality recordings or worse. I'm also going to share with you a QuickTime Player trick that'll help you create YouTube thumbnails faster. Let's jump in. The first tip I want to share with you has to do with how you set the recording resolution in QuickTime Player. You'll notice there's no drop-down allowing you to choose between 720p or 1080p or 4K resolution. If you go into Settings, you'll see down at the bottom, all you have is this quality setting. And you've got two choices, high and maximum. Doesn't really tell you much. Well, what I can tell you is that the high quality setting is actually only recording in 1280 by 720 or 720p resolution. So don't get tripped up by that. The maximum quality setting is the resolution you've set on your camera, with a few exceptions. QuickTime Player only records 4K video from your camera if you're using a 4K capture card, like the Elgato Camlink 4K. If you're recording into QuickTime Player using a 4K webcam, like the Brio, set to 4K, the recording will only be 1080p. If you record into QuickTime Player using continuity camera and your iPhone camera is set to 4K, again, your recording will only be 1080p. Now, in pretty much every situation, you're going to want to be recording with the maximum quality setting. But here's the thing about that. QuickTime Player's maximum quality setting results in a ProRes 422 file, a professional-level video file format known for its exceptional quality. It also produces a very large file size. A 1-minute recording at 1080p 24 frames per second at QuickTime Player's maximum quality setting produces a file size of more than 2 gigabytes. Now, that wouldn't be that big of a deal if it weren't for the way that QuickTime Player records video. QuickTime Player records video to a temporary location on your Mac's internal drive. Only after you've finished recording can you save off the file to an external drive or other location, and there's no way to change that behavior. So you can see what can happen depending on how much space you have on your internal drive and the length of your recording. You can quickly run out of space and your recording will cut off. Which brings me to another one of my tips for recording camera video in QuickTime Player, especially at maximum quality. To prevent your internal drive from filling up and cutting off your recording, record in chunks. Record a section of your on-camera, stop, then save it off to an external drive, then record another section, and so on. You can edit together your clips later using QuickTime Player if you want to. I have a video about how to do that, link in the description. If you're doing a lot of recording, you can end up with a lot of very large ProRes files taking up a lot of space on your drive or weighing down your video editor. Now, if this is a serious issue for you, you can actually re-encode those very large ProRes files to reduce their file size, and you can do that right inside of QuickTime Player. Just open the large ProRes file in QuickTime Player, then go to File, Export As, and select the resolution you want to export. So for example, here's a QuickTime Player recording that was recorded at maximum quality, that is ProRes 1080p 60 frames per second. It's 2.8 gigabytes. I'll choose File, Export As, and select the 1080p preset, because I want to keep the same resolution, 1080p. In the menu, I'll choose H.264 for greater compatibility, then save. The re-encoded file is only 173 megabytes. while maintaining pretty good quality. Good enough for YouTube, at least. Now, we've been talking a lot about recording video in QuickTime Player. Now let's change gears and talk about probably the most important part of a quality video recording, and that's audio. After you've plugged your USB microphone into your Mac and before you start recording, you're going to want to perform a very important step, and that's set your mic level. To do that, we go into the Mac settings and into the sound section. Then under output and input, we make sure the input button is selected. Then select your microphone from the list. Then while speaking into your microphone at the level you'll be delivering your on camera, very important, adjust the input volume slider until your microphone level is peaking in the second or third to last dot. This is a good recording level. Any higher and you risk distorting your audio, not good. When you're done, exit out of settings and head back to QuickTime Player to record. Now, there's one issue around recording audio in QuickTime Player that I should mention, and it involves using XLR microphones connected to USB interfaces, in particular USB interfaces like the Focusrite Scarlett Solo and the Audient ID4. These are split channel interfaces, meaning the XLR microphone plugs into the left channel and an instrument like a guitar or keyboard plugs into the right channel. Here's the issue. QuickTime Player records in stereo. So when you plug your XLR microphone into a split channel USB interface, like the Focusrite Scarlett Solo, then record in QuickTime Player, the mic audio is recorded on the left channel only. When you play back your recording, your mic audio plays out of the left speaker only. Very annoying. Now, there are ways to fix left speaker-only mic audio after the fact, but they can be cumbersome and complicated and don't always work that well. Best to avoid using these split-channel USB interfaces when recording audio in QuickTime Player, whether it's camera recording or screen recording. Use a simple USB mic, like the Rode NT USB Mini, or use an interface or mixer that has the ability to mix down the microphone channel to mono so it comes out of both speakers. All right, now for that cool bonus QuickTime Player trick that'll help you create YouTube thumbnails faster. Often after recording your talking head for a YouTube video, you want to use a frame of your recording for your YouTube thumbnail. So I have this QuickTime Player recording of my talking head, and I want to use this frame of the video for my YouTube thumbnail. With my video open in QuickTime Player, to export this frame, all I have to do is position the playhead over the frame, then right-click or control-click on the playhead, and from the menu that appears, select Copy Image. And then you can paste the copied frame into another application, like Apple Keynote, to create your YouTube thumbnail. Or, back in QuickTime Player, right-click and select Copy Subject. QuickTime Player will attempt to isolate and copy the subject of the frame, then paste into another application. Now, the quality of the isolation depends on the difference between the foreground subject and the background. Having the subject on a plain, uniform background works best.